Oh, hi, babe. No, I don't think the truck driver thought you were taking a nap. No, I just... Oh, shit. I'll call you back. Hey, gang. This is part 2 of Jackson Stewart and Chase Williamson. So, here you go.
Okay, let's get to music.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I'm a musician and a child of the 80s. I was there during, Carpenter.
Oh, yeah.
And all of that thing, the Thing and Big Trouble in China and Escape from New York. I mean, those were like my kind of childhood films and things like that. There was always something extremely special, not only about the film itself, but the soundtrack. And like, obviously there's John Williams and blah, 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 and Superman and fucking Star Wars and Raiders of the Lost Ark and all that, the iconic stuff. But these films, for me, that I'm talking about, like Carpenter and, with just like really heavy, dark, hardcore keyboard, because all that shit was new technology.
Yeah.
In like the late 70s, early 80s, through all the 80s. It seems to be making some sort of resurge into the consciousness. I don't want to... I know that you made this film before Stranger Things came out.
I want to go on record and say we premiered a month before Stranger Things came out.
And that's what I want to...
I wanted
to put that on record because I know that for a fact.
Exist.
I know that for a fact. I have a whole, as people that listen to this podcast know, I have a Stranger Things thing.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thing?
It's hard for me to discuss. No, it's mine.
Oh.
You can't have it.
Oh.
Right. That's where I came
That's
from.
gotta be weird.
I saw E.T. in the theaters when I was a little kid. I've already talked about this on the podcast. But what I'm trying to get at is you're doing it in like a nostalgic sort of way. I mean, obviously in the credits, you're also using, it's not throughout the film, it's at specific points to the film. So what made you use that type of music, not just in the credits, but like in those specific points? Was there a reason that music was there, and then other type of soundtrack, which is more orchestrated, typical?
Yeah, we
talked about that after you showed me the first cut when it's temp music. Do you remember that?
I'm trying to...
You were trying to decide...
Music makes the mood of film.
You were trying to decide whether or not you wanted to go with more of a Poltergeist vibe or like a Carpenter vibe.
Yeah, because initially the original plan with it was all of the real world stuff was going to be like strings and kind of a more traditional Poltergeist, like Jerry Goldsmith type score. And the otherworldly stuff was going to be those same themes,
Jerry
but
Goldsmith,
done through
amazing, by the way.
Done through like synth, So we'd have someone who could essentially do both. Through the editing process, it was a really tough decision because I was very married to that initially, and then my my editor was temping it, and like we were trying to use some of these tracks I had in mind, and they just didn't really work, and eventually. Chase and I think a few other people were like, you should just lean into the 80s of it. They were like, just do the full synth thing. And I think at that point it became clearer. And there was a couple different composers I was talking to, and ultimately we landed with this guy, Wojciech Golczewski, which is a name even harder to spell. But the thing that really sold me with him was he said he wanted to use elements of like Commodore 64 music, which I was totally into. As soon as he said that, I was like, yes, 100%. This dude gets it. And he brought he listened to whatever the temp music we had. We had stuff like I think we had some of the music from God, I'm trying to remember. We had like the Final Fantasy VII theme was originally the VCR board game theme. We had some like really random stuff in there that I'm trying to...
Was it important to you, this aspect?
Yeah.
Of the film?
To be perfectly honest, it was one of these things like I really found that through the editing.
Okay.
And because it was...
That wasn't a vision that you had before that, like, in this scene, there's going to be this. And super 80s synth pop.
Totally. Because, the thing I was a little worried about was I didn't want it to, like, push too much into that. I wanted to, like, feel like that. And, with Poltergeist, which is one of my favorite movies, it's all strings. It's like there's no synth element whatsoever to it. You know, in the Carpenter stuff, he's doing his own music in those movies, so it's kind of a different thing. But
eventually, to him, he was like, "I'm just going to score this movie." It wasn't reading off anything. There was no nostalgia in it. It's just that's what it was.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm getting at now is like, yes.
Real quick though, I have to point out the title song. This is going to sound unbelievably stupid, but I'll go ahead and bust myself on it. Initially, I really wanted to temp it to Enter Sandman because In the Mouth of Madness is basically that's kind of like what we were riffing off of for our VCR opening. Their opening is like a book going through a printing press, and we wanted to do that for like a VCR. But that was temped to Enter Sandman, and I was like, I want to hear someone else's like crazy version of this. And my editor was like, you can't do that. It's like, that's a terrible idea.
Again, where an editor can come in and help you.
Exactly. and so I was like, okay, let me like look through a bunch of songs and I'll figure it out. And I went through my iTunes library and I found this this track by Vincenzo Salvia, who's an Italian composer, called Outrun with the Dead. And I was like, I think this will work. Like, put this on here. He set it to that music, and I was just like, I'm like, I have to get this song in here. And so that opening credits song is actually him. It's not the composer.
Okay.
And I wrote to him, and I was like, I need this song in my movie. Here, you can look at the footage. And he's like, it's yours, take it.
Oh, nice.
And so he was super cool. And he has a lot of really good music. But yeah, Wojciech was like really good at tying everything together. And, you know, he just did such a good job of like elevating a lot of scenes where, you know, I think it needed some TLC, and he's great, you know. So I hope that answers it.
One of my favorite things is when you don't, of course, because Ryan and I have such a rare perspective on film because you're in it, which is a weird, totally different than the observer or the maker. You're in it. I mean, an actor on set, but especially when you're super young. And even a teenager, you don't really get. When you're a kid, you don't know what the fuck's going on. You don't know how the stuff. I mean, but you learn it as you go, and you're like, oh, that's what this guy does, or this what this does. And
that's where I'm at. So.
And then post is right. It's right.
Only recently I've been going on set, and I leave like feeling really good because I'm just like, damn.
No, you walk
go on set now, and I know what everyone's job is. And
I know what the best boy does now. I know who that guy is, right?
I'm a freaking pro, man. Then you do like the Judd Nelson at the end of Breakfast Club.
I know what a second is. Yes.
All that jargon, strike it. Sure.
Why can't I touch this? Oh, he can't. It's
yeah.
So I don't mess with the C stands.
What's a G? Yeah, don't touch that, kid.
Yeah.
Apple box maybe,
I learned
but
that
not
on Sparks.
a C. It's so funny.
Like,
imagine being a kid and not knowing it.
Just like twisting the knob on a C stand and crashing down and guy.
Don't touch that. Yeah. Oh, you get don't. Yeah. You learn that really quick, especially as a kid, because they don't like kids anywhere near their shit. They're gonna mess it up. But I was doing a TV show, and I was always friends with. You're always friends with the cast.
Yeah.
But I ended up always being friends with like G&E guys, and like we would hang out, and like
I'm friends with whoever smokes cigarettes.
Okay, gotcha. So you're over by the butt can by the end of the block, right?
One of my best friends was a PA on John Dies at the End.
That's
nice.
Drew Cookson, good, great guy.
And there was a guy on this TV. It was a NBC network show, and it was a great show, a little ahead of its time, about like four boys and their fathers. And it was the show with Merlin Olsen, because it's right after Little House on the Prairie.
Right.
And my dad, because of course I played the cool character,
of course.
was until I didn't until Monster Squad. But no, but my dad on the show was Ricky Nelson.
Dude, oh my god! You know I'm obsessed with Ricky Nelson.
Right. So
I'm dead serious.
So
I have his like.
So wait,
I have every album
he's
ever
music
done.
thing?
Were we finished with the music thing?
Damn it!
But no, we can go with the music.
No,
but see, the show was about four boys and their fathers, and the lead was Merlin Olsen and his son. And the boys were the leads of the show, which was kind of ahead of its time, being four adolescents as the leads of a network show. And then their relationships with their fathers. And my dad was Ricky Nelson the first time he had been back on television.
Since like the Osmonds, right?
Since Ozzie and Harriet.
Or Ozzie and Harriet, that's right, not the Osmonds.
And he's this huge, iconic
He's an
He's an American icon. He's literally an American icon. And we do the pilot. The show gets picked up for like 5 episodes as a mid-season replacement, which is an old term because we have like year-round shit now.
Yeah.
He dies in between the pilot and our first episode. That's the show. I was on that show.
Oh my God.
And so obviously we now have to write him out of the next 5 episodes. And so he is the dad that now all of a sudden a show called Fathers and Sons, I have a mother in. And my relationship with my parent is the mother about my dad never showing up. Well, because he died in a plane crash. He ain't going to make it.
Yeah.
But so it's always like, oh, I'm on the phone. He's like, hey, are you coming? Oh, okay, so you're stuck in
That's a crazy
Seattle.
way to attack that thing. Cause
they had to do it in like a couple weeks, and it was just crazy
God.
because this American television icon was back on television
Didn't
as
that
my
John
dad.
Ritter's show too?
Yeah.
John Ritter's show, yeah.
Yeah. And
Like,
but that was just tragic.
Yeah.
I mean, the Ricky Nelson thing was tragic, but
It's
the John
pretty
Ritter
tragic.
thing actually broke my heart. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many other people that should die besides John Ritter.
I
I mean, I didn't really say that, but I did.
No, it's true.
We'll
not
name
mean
all
it.
of them as soon as the
It's
mic
always
is
the
off.
good ones. Man.
But that was you're talking about working with people. I mean, that you would never think. I mean, that's an icon. Why did I start the story? I do this all the time.
You do.
You were talking.
I'm the one
Chase
who's
was
getting
talking about
drunk.
something.
You're sitting here drinking Perry.
I don't know.
I was talking about all the wonderful icons.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. But no, it's about knowing people on the set. And
Yeah.
so there was a grip on that show.
Getting drunk.
Speaking, there was a grip on the show that we would have competitions.
Yeah.
We would have competitions. He'd be like, "I bet you can't do 20 curls with that 10-pound sandbag."
Oh, yeah.
So bust it out. He'd be like, "Here's a $1."
Nice.
And I mean $5. And then one time, the only thing I didn't eat like during lunch, I still remember it where it was. It was in Sherman Oaks in the front yard of his house. And it was like he had to make a bowl, like if you had to eat gross shit.
Oh, God.
And there was like $40 on the table if I would eat like 5 bites of ice cream, wheat germ, and like pickled herring in a bowl. And I was like, you can keep your $40. I'm not gonna do it. But I would do like the fit, like I was like, I'm like 12, trying to do with the 20-pound sound, you don't get it. But I was always friends with the G&E guys, and then I was on a show again, Icons, with George C. Scott and Madeline Kahn.
Holy shit!
And Conrad Bain. That was,
what was it called?
Mr. President.
Oh, okay.
It was one of the first
Did you
shows.
play the president?
I didn't. I played the president's son. That's probably a better show. But ironically, the first time George C. Scott ever did television was on this. It was one of the first shows when Fox was a brand new network, and one of the 6 or 7 original shows. And all the grips, like the key grip was the old guy, and then like 2 of his sons were grips, and so it was all these family. And I would play poker with them, like at lunch, like behind the set. And but that's where you get to know. Like, because like Ryan and I have talked on earlier episodes, that the actors are like the least important people on a set. Because we've been, no offense, Chase, but we're also that same guy. But you're real. It's like everybody can do a job, but we were really ripping on actors on that one time. But
I think like that's another thing that sort of put me at ease when I first started working on camera, because you feel like it's going to be all these people watching you, but then you quickly realize everyone's just doing their job and not paying any attention to what you're doing.
Yeah,
that's why.
So it doesn't really feel like you have any eyes on you.
Yeah, it's a good point.
The
good
director,
point.
who's like essentially a coach.
Yeah. And that's why I wanted to learn what everybody like. What is your title?
No, it was fascinating. The first time I was on a set, just like watching people problem solve. There's like a divot in the floor, and we want to do a dolly shot. Like, how do we fix that in 5 minutes?
Wedges and 2x4s and plywood. Oh, it's amazing.
So the last film that I just did a short, and when we wrapped, obviously, the director always goes, "Last day for Lambert," hey, everyone claps. All right, Lambert's a wrap for the shoot, yay!
Yeah.
I walked over and I grabbed a beer from the cooler, and I was drinking, and I was sitting down and I smoked a cigarette, and the sound guy came up to me and he goes, "It's been a pleasure working with you. I love hearing your voice this whole time, and I think you're a great actor." And I'm like, "You're the first person in history that has ever acknowledged that I was here."
how come everybody goes, all right, last day for the sound mixers. Great, all right. Or last day for the best boy.
Because
Yeah.
they have like 7 more days after the shoot.
That's what after you do, I guess. Yeah, it's good.
No one's there when they're actually
feel
done.
like, they have to play into a sort of ego thing with actors. I guess they do a lot of the time, but it's weird when you work with people that are like, I know a trick about how to trick this actor. But it's just like, dude,
Then why have that? I don't know. It's like, dude,
I
don't
have
have
a
that
degree
actor.
in this. Like, you
Right.
can talk to me like a person and just tell me what you want instead of being like, you were amazing, but we need another take for camera?
Right.
You just tell me you didn't like it.
Yeah, it's just like both know it's not working. Just tell me what to fucking
I
fix.
did a film where the director would come to me all the time and he would say, so are you okay? Like, do you need anything? Like, I've got my job thing, and I'm doing this thing, and like the idea, I'm like, go do your job. My job is to sit here and wait until you're ready.
Yeah.
And I will do what I need to do to prepare for whatever. And then your second should come get me. Like, he didn't understand the dynamics of a set.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about earlier. Union, this person, that person. That, like, do your thing, you do that, I'll do this, and then I'm here to do my thing. And they'll tell me to come to the set, and I'll go there, and I'll do my thing, and then I walk out. And that's my job. I'm not there to like, well, you want me to grab the sandbag? And they're like, no. It's like, go home, go away. Get out of the shot. Like, I'll be my own stand-in. No, we hired someone for that. Like,
yeah, you really need to leave the set right now.
Yeah,
like,
like,
look, I can't
get
hang out.
away. And
can
like,
I hang out and watch? It's like, no, you need to go.
The second's like grabbing my arm, like, can I get you a food? I'm like, I don't want to be treated this way. Like,
That's
but that's your job.
Don, I had never been on a movie set, so Don was just like, yeah, come watch whatever you want. I spent like all my time at the monitor just like looking at all this shit.
that's
awesome.
But then on other stuff, I was like, oh, can I come watch you guys shoot this scene? And it's just like, no. I'm like, oh.
No, you got to get back
you
in a different
why.
wardrobe that you
if
wore
it's like
5 days ago.
An intimate scene, you don't want you want a closed set or whatever. But at first I was just like, oh, but I want to see it.
For sure.
Well, real quick,
Did you show him daily? Did you do dailies? Not dailies, but
Chase saw like a rough cut.
I saw a rough cut.
And I sent you. I like snuck you over a couple things. I think early on when you were shooting.
I saw much of
it
when
before the cut. When you were shooting Siren, I remember like sending you videos of a couple of the scenes.
Oh yeah.
Because you were just like, send me the thing. I was like, I'm not.
I always try
because you want to see it as an actor. You want to see it.
Well, I always try to get people to send me just like a little taste on their phone, like from the laptop. And
I think it's helpful as an actor. I think it's helpful as an actor to like see what you did. Because especially like day one, it's like you might go like, wait a minute. Well,
the big difference between that
I'm not
and
the character.
John
like I'm blowing this.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can, it's really informative.
Let me adjust. Let me make the right.
adjustments. And Clancy, I consider like a mentor, and he's full of just nuggets of just like very casual wisdom. But he's like, I never watch playback anymore. But he's like, when you're starting out, it's really instructive. And I think at
there's
a
one
point,
thing to be standing in front of.
I hope at a point I feel like I won't have to do that, but I feel like I'm still at a point where I need to see exactly what I'm doing in order to pick out what's not working or like what's a habit or what takes me out of it and just wipe that out. Do
you see yourself ever like being behind the camera?
Yeah,
like you said, you want to like learn. You're on the set. And
and I mean it's hard not to want to do that after you've been on a certain amount of projects because you want to be, you feel like comfortable on set. The camaraderie thing, it's just like you want to be there, and also like as an actor, you're pretty much at the mercy of like other artists to hire you or to like write something for you, or there's not a lot of autonomy involved. Like directors can be like, oh, I really like this actor, I want to like have him like meet with them for coffee just to get to know them. But as an actor, I can't be like, oh, this director made a really cool movie, I'm gonna hit them up and like see if they want to get coffee.
That's interesting.
Because then you look desperate.
Right. Yeah.
So like,
you're obviously hitting him up for a role.
Yeah, but like
even if you weren't,
even if I wasn't,
even if you weren't,
it's just like, oh, you made a cool movie, I want to meet you just so we know each other.
Right.
But like, it's just
actors
a different
have zero
dynamic.
power.
Yeah, and so you get inspired and you get familiar with a certain world after you've done it for a few years, and then of course you just want to sort of like expand creatively. And I don't know if I see myself directing at some point, but I think I have a lot more to learn before I did that. But I definitely want to write stuff, and like help things get made. Or it's just really fun to get your friends jobs. Like I went to acting school at USC. And just any time I can, like...
Which is funny, because I was just at USC for the alumni brunch in the afternoon.
I thought you were going to say the alumni comida show. I was going to be like, oh.
No, there was my friend... I didn't go to USC. My friend went to USC, and she invited me to this sort of like luncheon in the daytime in one of the quad areas, and I'm walking around, I'm like, oh, there's Jay Roach. Oh, there's Matthew Weiner. Like,
yeah.
Wow.
And I went up to... Is it Weiner or Weiner?
It's Weiner.
It's Weiner. That's what I want to say.
It's spelled Wiener, though.
Right,
so
which is
I don't
fine.
know
But
what
at one point, I saw him... It was the end of the evening. I saw him leaving, and I'm like, fuck it. Go. Just say hi.
Yeah.
This is what you do. And so I walked up to him. He saw me coming, so he kind of stopped and turned around and like shook my hand and said, how you doing? And I said, I just want to tell you I'm a huge fan. I love Mad Men. I actually did like a short piece of a fan fiction thing that the Mad Men people had put out, and that they actually included in the DVD. It was like fans did certain scenes of the pilot, and then they spliced it all together. So it's this crazy mishmash of like different actors. It's pretty cool if you watch it on it's on the last season DVD of Mad Men. But he said, that's awesome. I'm going to go home and watch it. And that's awesome. I got to meet you. What are you working on now? I said, well, I wrote a pilot, and I got a couple other projects in the works, but mostly I'm like trying to figure out how to write this pilot, and I wrote a couple more episodes, and I've got a full deck, and blah blah blah. Do you want to read it? And he goes, no. and he goes, listen, I'm telling you right now, it's crazy. He goes, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I like created Mad Men. I have 4 shows that I've thought of. No one wants them.
Wow.
And that just put everything into perspective for me. I'm like, oh, I haven't even like, no one's even read anything I've written. And then here's this like powerful Hollywood mogul who just can't get a show on the air. The guy wrote fucking Mad Men. Created Mad Men.
I mean, from my perspective, like the USC stuff, like I was in like the conservatory style like acting program, so I was in the same classes with the same 15 people for like 4 years every day. And it's like, a super familial, like, love-hate relationship by the end of it. But, like, you grow up...
With the program or with the people?
With the people.
Okay.
And the program. But, I mean, like, you grow up with these people, and some of them are just, like, insanely talented, and it's just tough, you never know who's going to end up...
I was talking to people at this thing that was like, what are you doing now? I'm like, oh, I didn't go here. My friend did. And then she would say, like, oh, well, she's not doing anything right now either. And they'd say, oh, yeah, I work at a dentist's office. And I'm like, wow, you have a film
And some of them are just, like,
USC,
from USC.
Yeah. And you're doing nothing.
So talented, and it's just crazy. So any opportunity I have to, like... try and work with some of those people or like hook those people up. I like really relish.
It should be a community. It's a little hard.
You want to see.
Do you feel that coming out of that it is a community that you can go back and be friends with people?
Oh, I'm still.
Or can you tap them for stuff later on?
Yeah, I'm super close with everyone I went to college with, pretty much.
I feel like you'll always be in like Jackson's film.
You'll
be like the De Niro,
you meet people like
Martin
Jackson.
Scorsese.
You just meet the good eggs, and
we need a Jackson.
We need a Jackson.
You and I need a Jackson, so we can be in his film.
How about Jackson?
I don't know. We have to have Jackson. He's already got a chase.
You have people that you want to work with, people that inspire you, people that are talented. Like there's. Been lucky enough,
and also people
Jackson,
that just aren't dicks.
This guy Harrison Atkins, who's like Joe Swanberg's protege.
Harrison rules.
Adam Wingard, like it's just like when someone's really.
So this another segue I got. Here we go.
Nice.
Which is rare.
Segue.
What are you guys collaborating on a new project together, or what are you guys working on now?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have a couple
things in the works.
I mean, the big one is I wrote a sequel to Beyond the Gates where it would basically be Chase. His character would kind of take over
before it's even released.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's gonna be big.
I love it.
It was one of these things. It's so weird with writing because a lot of times it's like sometimes you just get an idea and you're like, I can't fucking get this thing out of my head.
The characters have more to say.
Yeah, and it was, for whatever reason, I was just like, God, I really want to do more with Chase's character in this movie. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, it'd be really cool to do something like this. And
Chase,
where
character moves to Alaska.
Well, it's
this monster.
It's basically like him, and he has a new girlfriend. He has his life a little bit more together than he does.
Does Chase
at the start of this
your
movie.
character live in the house now?
At the end of the movie, I think
it was for
kinda
sale,
like,
but I think you kind of took over.
There.
Yeah.
You're gonna squat. You're a squatter.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm gonna squat.
You're selling it.
Originally in the
Long
script
escrow.
of the
Long
movie,
escrow.
like, when we were shooting it, there was a subplot where I was stealing money from the office the whole time. Like, I had been in the dad's office for days and
So
days.
the
and
dad
was
just
stealing
kept
money out of
cash?
his box.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are a lot of like looks I give, things I'm playing in the movie that don't make sense.
Don't play.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the whole time we're in the thing, Graham's like, "What is this crazy video?" And I'm just staring at this.
Yeah, he's like,
box.
I knew
Yeah,
you
this
guys
box
were gonna
of
find the game in
The Office.
the office. I knew finding the key, the first key
Yeah.
that's fucking genius.
Oh, thank you.
I love that.
Well,
it wasn't part of but it is.
It's
not the board
yeah.
game, but it's the first
Well,
key. And did I?
No, it's funny
Did I
because
just
you're the
discover-
second person that's asked me that.
But also, did you just spoiler?
It was this week.
Uh-oh.
No, it's
Go
not
see the
a
movie.
spoiler.
Don't worry,
It's
no
not
one
a
else
spoiler.
said it.
I think it's gonna be big. I think it's gonna be one of those.
The movie or the key?
The key. Oh.
The key. Jesus, Chase, you're so not in number 2 now.
Yeah, I know.
Big hit.
No, it was basically the key is I don't know how much to say about this, but you're the second person to ask me about this. Clark Collis from Entertainment Weekly was the other guy who asked me about that, weirdly enough. But yeah, the key that he finds there is basically like he's sort of getting invited to go down this path. And it's like if he just left that there, obviously nothing would have happened. But because he went and grabbed it, then he's able to, start playing the game and everything.
So I was wondering if there was anything within your the father character's office that I might have missed.
There's
Easter eggs.
Yes. Actually, I'm really glad you mentioned that. There's a photo of Barbara Crampton.
Ah, there we go. Thank you.
Which is kind of
Knew there had to be something.
that's sort of like tied into the mythology of the game, which I don't really want to get into. But yeah, there's a photo of her that you can find. I'm trying to think of the other.
Where I put that glass.
Other stuff we have. I think that's the main. I mean, like the bigger thing is we have stuff like in the back of the video store where it's like
What's
the
the
Where
poster
Dad
behind
poster.
the counter?
Where Dad?
I don't know that one.
It's not a movie.
It's not
It's
real.
a great
Oh.
poster.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, what is that? Because I always, nowadays, when I watch things from, not to nerds,
Yeah.
film nerds, that I know are film nerds, I always sort of look around if I'm watching the BFG or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't just show me the movie. Like just, when I'm watching something that I know like someone's super passionate about, like getting their point across and like paying
the
homage
posters
to
in the
other
bedroom
things, and
stuff
like
like that.
if you watch the Monster Squad, or if you watch Night of the Creeps, Fred Decker and Fred Decker's first film.
Yeah.
There's a scene and then in the background it says the Monster Squad rules. So like they had already like. You know what I mean? Like it's just little things that pop up, and I love that stuff. So I felt like there might have been a bunch of stuff in Beyond the Gate that was that was in that.
The two of them were there's Where Dad, which I wanted that basically because it ties into the idea of like your dad being a monster, where I was like, oh, that's like a really nice.
And also Grindhouse maybe you'll make maybe you'll make Where Dad someday.
Yeah, well, quite possibly. I would love to make Where Dad.
Allowed?
What's that?
Like to make Where Dad?
Here's where it came from. My friend Chad.
That's where Machete came from. The preview.
Yeah.
It's just there.
That poster is actually in Scream 3 of all movies. So it's in. There's Jesus Heist is the other movie that we have a poster of in the background, which is a little harder to see. But I just loved the idea of those two titles. I'm obsessed with these, but. Chad had to come up with those because I think he was like working for the Weinstein Company or Miramax or whatever at the time as like an advertising dude. And then they were like, give us a bunch of fake movie titles. And so he came up with Where Dad and Jesus Heist. And they had a handful of other ones. So it's like, I'm taking those two. He had full clearance for them. And he was basically, I was just like, I'm putting these in the movie.
Nice.
So, there's that. There's the Indiana Jones VCR board game, which is kind of like it's basically making fun of like Doorways to Adventure, which was the companion piece to Doorways to Horror. And then I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. The other one is like Blood Messiah, the tape that they're into, was like off of one of my favorite slasher movies called Blood Rage. Mm-hmm. And basically it's a movie about two identical twins where one of them murders this couple in a drive-in, and then the evil twin blames it on his innocent twin brother. And the innocent twin brother goes into a mental asylum, and he's in there for like 12 years. And as soon as he gets out, the crazy twin starts killing people, and then uses it to blame his twin again. It's amazing.
What a dick!
I guarantee anyone that's listening right now to this knows.
Knows Blood Rage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They've seen it.
There's like a few of those that you can kind of catch in the background. Absolutely. Though. I don't know, but I mean, what else?
Was Blood Rage the movie that
was
we're
that?
watching?
When did Easter eggs start?
That's Messiah View.
Oh, Messiah.
When did Easter eggs start? Like that was not a thing like in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 60s, 70s.
I think when like comic book movies became a big thing. Right?
Well, no, because
like, even like the first X-Men.
There's some weird. There definitely
That's
is
like the first time I heard the phrase.
But I mean, I think there's a lot of. I mean, it's like in Night of the Creeps, where it's like, oh, here's like a Monster Squad reference. There's
they had been writing that script. Like that was, I think they wrote that before.
Well, I think where it says Monster Squad on the bathroom wall is Monster Squad got greenlit that week while they were shooting.
So they were
and so he drew it with the art department.
I was in a movie called Monster Squad, and I literally know nothing about it. Andre's got the full history.
You're pretty fucking cool in that.
Well, I've got some of them.
Yeah, dude.
But like. The Monster Squad. I mean, they're not Easter eggs. There's homages and there's Easter eggs, but like there's armadillos in Transylvania Castle.
Yeah.
In the beginning of Monster Squad, and that was from like a 1936 movie.
Well,
that Fred knows because I'm putting armadillos in because they don't exist here, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because
that's not an Easter egg. That's an homage. But
the other one I was going to actually mention in Monster Squad is the Alucard thing, which I think is in Son of Frankenstein.
Yeah, I think it's something. I think it is Son of Frankenstein
because it's like they have the exact same thing where it's spelled backwards.
Again, Zero knew that.
Yeah,
Son of Frankenstein, sure.
Yes,
I love
not Young Frankenstein.
So good.
All of which is the best Frankenstein movie of all time.
I saw that movie.
Young Frankenstein is the best Frankenstein movie of all time.
That's a whole different thing.
And it's Frankenstein. But no, like with Monster, you wouldn't have because I love the setup of the origin story of just the concept is that movie never been made if Fred Dekker didn't grow up watching Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein or Son of Frankenstein.
Or the Little Rascals.
And then his thing was, what would it look like if the Little Rascals fought the classic Universal monsters?
Yeah, that's fucking.
It would look like Monster Squad.
Yeah,
and, who comes up with those kind of?
I keep asking him every time I see him, like, was I Alfalfa? Which one was I? What did you base my shit?
No, I was Alfalfa with the terrible hair.
My friend Alan Palomo, who's a musician, his band's called Neon Indian. He did like a TED Talk about the myth of the auteur. And just like how every auteur steals from something that inspires them and becomes their own thing. It's really interesting.
Isn't that what it's supposed to be?
Yeah.
But a lot of
But
people
everybody
think
thinks
it's
on
just
tour, it's like, oh, it's all
I
original.
gotta
Wait,
make my
let's
own
go
thing,
full
but
circle
of course
right now,
your
because
own thing is going to be whatever you've seen filtered through your
This
head.
is what I wanted to ask. Let's come back
Yeah.
to music, because my question is about music, and I'm not sure how to phrase this in the right way, but you put basically John Carpenter music on your film.
Yeah.
There is some orchestration, and with
There's some strings and stuff in
yes,
there.
which is an homage to Poltergeist. I love
Yeah.
that. Now, let's just say you made a film that had none of that, none of the nostalgia, none of anything else. It's just, I'm gonna make a movie and we're gonna score it.
Yeah.
So 20 years from now, when some kid is making a movie and he wants to pay homage to like 2016,
Yeah.
what does he have?
I actually just wait, did I cut you off? Or?
No. Well, I mean, I was just gonna keep going by saying like he's gonna have the nostalgia of the 80s. Like what is now going to be the nostalgia of in 20, 30 years?
I have a perfect answer for that, because this is
Thank
one of the
God, because I have zero answers.
This is one of the only years where I'm like, I know exactly what this is going to be when they do a period piece of 2016.
Cool.
It's going to be Stranger Things, Pokemon Go, girls with the aqua hair, and all of that stuff. And as far as the music goes, I think it's going to be,
Terrible.
well, it's either going to be that like filtered sort of like Kanye, like that auto-tune thing.
Gunk.
Yeah, it's going to be the auto-tune gunk, or or it's going to be more synth stuff.
Or
Because
synth
it's
stuff that's
like-
throwing back like LaRue or something.
Yeah, exactly. Or like that
I like
Empire
LaRue,
of the
by
Sun.
So you're saying the
band.
nostalgia in 20, 30 years is going to be the nostalgia from 20 whatever
Well,
years
but I mean,
ago,
it-
which is
it
nostalgic
is.
from the 80s.
Yeah, because
Like when do we get original again? When do we get completely original where you're like,
The thing
whoa,
now,
I've never heard
create
that
new
before.
instruments.
Yeah.
This is what I feel like we're in a.
That's
kind
what
of
they did in the 70s and 80s. They created new instruments.
So I mean, we have to create new. There's.
I think that
Where's the next?
we're kind of like on a breaking point right now with like movies. I think where it's like I feel like people are just getting sick of the like branded. Here's like all the stuff you loved. Like here's Star Trek. Here's The Mummy. Here's like whatever movies we grew up watching. How they're just gonna like slap the name on it and trick people into seeing it basically and call it like a sequel, even though it's basically a remake or whatever. I think like in next year or the year after, they're going to start moving away from that. Once something comes out and they get like a big hit out of whatever the next craze is going to be, maybe it is just like 80s movies.
I've heard it's mermaids.
That's
From some top execs.
Well,
I think they're reversing
would
the
be
role of
interested.
Splash.
They are, yeah.
They are.
Channing Tatum.
Right, Channing Tatum's going to be the mermaid.
He was born to play
merman.
that.
How is he
He's
going to
a mermaid,
dance with a tail?
He's a mermaid.
That's true. How is he going to twinkle those toes?
He's going to have a
but
sweet merman ass. I'm telling you that right now.
God.
I feel like there's
Channing Tatum, you're hot.
God.
Are you listening right now?
He's a big fan. He's a big fan. He
There's-
subscribes on SoundCloud.
indeed.
He's a really smart guy.
There's a lot of stuff that I feel like becomes clearer as you get more time away from it. Because, like, I remember in 2003...
Yeah, you never know what it's going to be, but... Like, now I watch Seinfeld or something, I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
that shirt.
I know, but I mean, it's like, look at the stuff people were wearing, like the cut of clothing and everything in, like, 2005. And I remember living through that, and I was like, oh, this is the blandest shit ever. Like... This is never going to
But
look
it's
like
actually
anything.
very specific.
But now you see it and you're just like, God, that looks so fucking dated now. Because it's like people were still wearing like the baggy jeans and everything. And
Now we're back to skinny.
Yeah, exactly.
I also think it's possible that like certain advances in technology, like Google Glasses and stuff like that, like in the future, people are going to look back and be like, "Oh, we got a little ahead of ourselves there."
Yeah, totally.
Like it might be.
We were just talking about Google Glass.
Yeah.
just
And
like
but
fashion
now,
accessories that have.
but
to
now
do with
that's just gonna
computers
be-
might be
Right.
obsolete.
yeah.
Don't-
But
yeah.
but
Because
the
it's
weird
just not even practical.
What do
The
we
weird
need,
thing
what
is-
do we need compared to practical?
Right.
and I think because
What do we
we
want?
were talking about this the other day, like Google Glass and glass holes. was that tech is now just going to be in your glasses. It's not going to be an extra thing. It's just going to be in your contact lens. So that's awesome. But I think that also
it's going to cost a lot extra.
Comes back to Jackson's point
premium.
of what the new stuff is in because you said in like 20 years, and in 20 years. Which is interesting is because Ryan said they created new instruments. We had synthesizers. We had the Moog and the Kurzweil. And I thought Kurzweil in my mind with a synthesizer, but in 20 years is when the singularity takes place, according to Ray Kurzweil. Oh, wow. So I think the new originality is because the machines take over and create new movies and sounds.
Should just be simple.
And, or better, or so perfectly pure that we'll have no idea what they are, and they'll be all brand new because they're going to take the last 100 years of media and create the most perfect thing because AI has taken over, according to Ray Kurzweil, who invented this, one of the inventors of the synthesizer, who in 1972 said the machines will take over in 1935.
Ooh, who's watching Westworld?
I have not.
I haven't caught it yet.
Damn it!
I just finished this.
I love the.
Yes, right. You're a 99.
The Michael Crichton movie is great.
I love the Michael Crichton movie. I watched the first episode the day it came out, and the next day someone said, "Did you see Westworld last night?" I said, "No." So,
well, we have to go watch it
2 days ago. I watched all 3.
Wow.
And whoa.
Can I be real with you? I don't care about westerns and I don't care about robots, and so I can't imagine myself being into that show.
The Westworld movie,
those are just two genres. I'm not
the Westworld
that are all mashed up. That you don't care about.
I'm not. I've never been into Western. I mean, a good Western, sure.
You don't like Unforgiven.
So Chase is obviously not going to be in our Western.
I like 310 to Yuma, but it's just not a genre that I'm drawn to. Where I'm I want to watch a Western TV show.
Chase, what you didn't know is Ryan and I are currently casting a Western, and
listen,
thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. It's good.
Not a normal thing. It's just not something I grew up feeling connected to, like I did horror movies. For example.
What did you feel connected to?
Like horror movies or true crime. I'm a huge true crime nut. I like a mystery thriller sort of vibe.
Chase is
in a reading sense or film sense?
Reading film.
He's
what's
I got a story for you, true crime too. We'll talk after.
Oh, God.
There's a lot of crime.
And just broad comedies and just weird movies that I don't understand.
The Brady Bunch movie.
Yeah, I think growing up in
the
Texas,
first one was better than the second
in a literal Friday Night Lights football town. I just wasn't. I didn't give a shit.
Where did you
about,
grow up?
In Texas, at Dallas Fort Worth.
Okay.
I just wasn't ever really interested in westerns because it to me just was.
You saw cowboys every day.
Well, I saw cows every day, and it was just sort of a macho
It is
blah, blah thing where I just wasn't really interested in it. But I hate robots too. I hate.
You don't like Terminator,
robots. No, I like Terminator.
Well, Ryan's scared of robots, so that's okay. It's good.
I am.
He's scared of Freddy Krueger's in cosplay.
That was terrifying. I'm scared of
You're scared of rubber mats.
The thing that scares me, the thing that scares me the most in film is ghosts.
Yeah.
What is going on here? If I was laying in bed and some guy busted through my window with an axe, I'd be like, "There's a guy with an axe!"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Oh, I guess I'm dead." I try to run for my weapon, which is a baseball bat that I keep on my bed. Mm-hmm. And I maybe would probably fail. But if I wake up, my eyes flutter in the middle of the night, and there's a fucking guy with flowing white hair at the end of my bed.
Oh yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah, I'm the opposite.
That's
aneurysm off the bat
to me.
Oh, for sure.
Because that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
The guy busting through my window going, "Roar!" It's there's a guy here.
Well, there's a happy
real.
medium that I think is the most terrifying, where it's just the real dude with crazy hair standing at the edge of your bed with an axe.
Yeah.
That's the
Who's
most
possessed
terrifying
by
thing.
a ghost.
No.
He's straight up human and just disturbed. I think that's the most terrifying thing.
Well, now we know what Jackson's next movie is.
Yeah.
The guy at the end of the bed.
That's
not a bad movie.
Creep.
Oh, I love that movie.
That movie
so
really, really, really pressed all my buttons.
Great movie.
That movie is so.
He made that Watch
for
Channel
$20
Zero.
grand.
Yeah, I need to.
Sci-fi. Sorry, sci-fi. I'm probably going to lose a million jobs right now, but they have not done very well with their one-off series
No.
like things. Like, yeah, it's fun.
I
sure.
mean, they had Battlestar,
that
which
shit-
Isn't
everyone
that show The
loves.
Magician supposed to be really good?
but
I've not seen it.
I've got a friend on that
episode.
network
But I'm telling you,
that I went to high school with that's had a show on there for like 5 years.
Reminds me
Oh,
of
wow.
like Top of the Lake. You know,
Oh, really?
kind of like slow paced.
Classy.
Top of the Lake is very. I mean, it's obviously just a straight up crime story. This is like supernatural. There's like a children's television program that terrorized kids in the 80s.
Whoa,
that
that's
sounds
cool.
awesome.
It's so good, and it's just 10 episodes, and they're only on episode 3 right now.
Wow.
And it is fucking scary as shit.
Oh, shit, I gotta
I watched
check
all
that.
3 episodes last night.
I've heard it's great.
Yeah, it is really good for I don't know if Sci-Fi just picked it up or they created it, but it is like it's shot very.
It's not an anthology. It's
I think
no,
it's like,
I
isn't
think-
it like
no,
an
they did 2
anthology
seasons.
for like
They've already shot
season
2
by
seasons, but
Oh.
yeah, it's kind of like American Horror Story.
You know who's writing on that? Don Mancini.
oh no shit.
Yeah.
Cool. Have you been watching American Horror Story?
This is the best season they've done. Since,
I know.
Okay, thank God.
Last night's
I lost it in the
episode,
third. I lost it in the
I
third.
fucking
Complete
laughed
left
out
turn.
loud
Complete
so
left
hard
turn.
in the best gleeful
I'm like,
way.
wait a minute.
I was just
Wait,
like,
this is a whole nother show.
I loved it. I thought it was so hilarious.
This is a completely
It's
different
so
show.
Good.
I loved it too.
Yeah, especially being like a true crime note. I was like all in on.
It is
the
the right. I was gonna
multiverse.
say it's right up your alley. If
Yeah,
you
it's so funny.
All right, let's wrap into, because I think we've got to a good segue.
Yes.
Let's do some fun stuff that we wanted to do with guests. It's sort of like speed round, yes or no answers.
Oh, hell
so this
yeah.
this
I love
is
this stuff.
this is firsts and
Briefs.
favorites.
Okay.
Okay,
I was totally unaware that this was happening. By the way,
firsts and favorites.
I
on the
love this
record.
So
Rapid fire.
what's
Did
what's
not
better?
know.
Should we?
Did
We'll
not
go.
know.
Okay, so I'm gonna name something. You have to say
I will
first,
sit back and
All right.
Okay.
and we'll go Jackson and then Chase.
Okay.
Okay. This is first,
Oh, shit.
and it's be
All
quick.
right.
Okay.
Okay.
Kiss.
Girl behind the cafe when I was 18.
4th grade, we were in a steady relationship. We were in a pool, and our older sister taught us how to make out. We went under the water, and we made out.
What?
No names.
That's a movie.
I can't say her name.
Okay.
We're Facebook friends.
First car.
I'm not in this.
Toyota
Oh,
Corolla.
okay. Sorry.
Since
Let's
you're
do
asking
guess.
questions,
Let's
I
go.
have no
Okay,
idea.
I'll let. Okay, Ryan.
I
First.
want to be in it.
Okay.
Callie Evans behind a bush, 5th grade.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. Mine's Abigail Shear. In
Nice.
preschool, got in trouble, got sent home.
Sick,
Parents
dude.
got called. Everything. Okay. First car. Jackson.
Toyota Corolla.
Chase.
My brother's Dodge Durango.
Ryan.
Stole my mom's Honda Accord.
The blue one.
Yes, you were in.
I know it. Okay. Mine was a red Toyota Celica.
Yeah.
Okay. First concert. Jackson.
Kiss.
Nice.
Incubus and Phantom Planet.
Thank you for playing. Ryan.
Chase, see there's a door over there.
Yeah. See if someone's at the door, Chase.
Sorry, should I have
Use
lied?
the door.
Oh my god.
Ryan.
That's so not fair. Like concert by myself or concert with my
No, first
dad?
concert that you
Ever.
went to. Ever.
Kiss Destroyer.
Really?
Nice. Okay.
Dude.
The,
Kiss Bros.
All right.
Yeah.
the Jackson's Victory Tour.
Absolutely.
Okay, first job. We already did. You, video store. Is that
Yes.
first job?
Well, actually, no. I worked at a Pizza Hut washing dishes as my first.
So you didn't get anywhere near the
Wait,
double
no,
crust.
No. I lied. I worked at a comic book shop when I was 13. That was
Comic
my
book
first
shop,
job.
video store.
Yeah.
Okay. Every show on TV is about you right now.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Love it. Chase, first job. Well, we know your first role because it was first job or role. We know your first role.
Yeah, I was.
John Dies Deal.
My first job, I was a busser at the Salty Dog Cafe on Hilton Head Island, South Carolina.
I know the Salty
God.
Dog. Nice.
Sure.
Right. Well, Ryan, you playing this one?
My first job.
Yeah, your first role. Your first role. Do first role because
first
it's either job
role?
or role. Yeah.
Kids Incorporated.
What?
Classic.
Holy shit! You were on that?
I was the star of that.
You didn't know that? Oh my God!
That's my whole
Do
life.
your
we have
research
so much
before you go on a
to-
podcast, guys. Jesus
Well, I was just
Christ!
like, dude, it's the Monster Squad, guys. I was totally
My first
psyched
role
up.
was a Jack in the Box commercial when I was 5. Okay.
Which sandwich did you have to eat?
I didn't. I
He had the curly fries.
Stuff a bunch of fries in your mouth.
Your character was
Thank
eating
you,
at
yeah,
McDonald's and got really sick.
yeah no that's what I do remember eating the hero sandwich. All right,
Campaign.
where was your first place in LA? First place in LA, Jackson, on your own.
Off Bronson Avenue.
Ooh,
The New North Dormitory at the University of Southern California.
nice. Ryan,
Uh,
not your original because you're a native. You're a unicorn like me. But when you left that house and went to where?
we moved from Cleveland to Pico and Glenville.
Pico and Glenville. My first place that I didn't live with any family members was off Franklin in Hollywood. Okay, so we all know that. Okay, what was your first audition? Do you remember your first audition? Ryan.
Kids Incorporated.
And he got it. Batting 1,000. Look at this fucker.
Damn.
You have first audition that you didn't get? You know?
No, I've never had that.
Professional audition?
Did you have a non-professional, like,
Well,
meet
yeah,
a guy
I
behind
grew
the...
up doing like community theater and stuff. I think for the first play I auditioned for and got the part that I wanted was a Sherlock Holmes play. I was in second grade. I played the role of Sid Prince, the safecracker, and I did a bomb British accent.
In second grade. That's awesome.
Everyone was
Let's
older
hear
than
two
me.
lines right now.
I was like, I'm Sid Prince, and I'm going to crack your safe. It's going to be great. And then I remember I was like really famous for ad-libbing. Like someone was late for their entrance, and I ad-libbed this line where I was like, oh no, I think I hear footsteps, and like ran off stage. And I was like, that
As
was
a second
really,
grader.
really good. Yeah.
That was really good. All right, and the last one... No, let's go over to favorites. All right, your favorite, now that we have many to choose from, of the Star Wars movies. Jackson.
Return of the Jedi.
Chase.
Attack of the Clones.
He's lying.
Again, Chase, I think someone's at the door.
I'm not a big Star Wars guy.
Yeah.
Again, there's someone at the door.
I'm out this round.
You're out on Star Wars? All right, mine's obviously Empire.
Me too.
Okay, good call. Good.
I think.
Favorite of the Star Trek series, Jackson?
Of the movies?
No, the series.
Oh, the Tribbles episode.
No, sorry, not of the original. What is your favorite series?
Whoa. The original. Actually, wait, no, the animated one with Shatner.
I agree!
Yeah.
Okay, good. Chase.
I agree!
Has
Fist
to be
bump!
Next
Fist bump!
Generation because
Fucking animated series.
Gates
is so
McFadden,
good.
aka Beverly Crusher, was my teacher in college.
Dude, she is.
Get out.
She taught me
attractive.
movement my junior year.
I bet she did.
My midterm in her class was to pretend to be a jaguar, and I got a C.
Well,
So we
There
weren't
you go.
very close.
Weren't very close. Next Generation is my choice as well.
I can't.
And not because I used to go visit that set because we were on the same lot, but that was always fun. Because Will Wheaton was on the show, and I met Patrick Stewart, who looks the fucking same as he did then as he does today. I want to be Patrick Stewart. When I'm 60-something, I either want to be Patrick Stewart, John Stamos, or Rob Lowe.
Oh, yeah.
Should I go into it? No.
With what? Into what?
Wesley.
No, that's a whole other episode.
Okay.
Wesley Snipes?
Ryan was almost Wesley Crusher.
Oh, dude.
Oh.
All right, who's your favorite superhero?
Superman.
Robin. He's a gifted circus performer. He's enthusiastic, and he knows when to take a step down.
We heard this story before. Let's go into it.
Is Chase
You told us.
Yeah,
the
there's someone at the
story.
door again.
You told us the Robin story. Let's hear it.
Oh, well, I went to Comic-Con, and for the first time, I'd never been to like a Comic-Con thing, and it was in Chicago. It was the Wizard World one. And I went in, and I was just like kind of looking around. I like wanted a hat because I had like a terrible haircut then and now. And I was like, oh shit, I need a hat. And the only thing that I felt like I could get away with was this Robin hat for some reason. And then I went to do
Trucker
ADR.
hat, baseball hat.
It was a baseball hat, you know, it looked like a baseball team. And I was going to do ADR for my friend David's movie
like
where I played a character named Robbie. And I left my hat there and they gave it to the cat. But then he was like, yeah, when you came in, like, as soon I've been like editing this for so long, I just like assumed that your hat stood for Robbie.
All right, what's your Jackson favorite cartoon growing up?
Man, that's a good one. I would say Captain N, the Game Master.
Wow.
Chase.
Batman the Animated Series.
Fuck, I almost picked
Ryan.
that, dude.
Scooby-Doo.
Oh, that though. I had chicken pox in my eyeballs, and I watched Scooby-Doo totally blind.
I had a chicken pox in my eyeball too.
Really?
Or a pock. I didn't have two. I had one. I had
At
a
least
pock.
one.
I just blanked on mine. It was Battle of the Planets.
Captain
Oh,
Planet.
the G-Force.
Sailor Moon.
G-Force. Thank you,
yeah.
Jackson. G-Force is my all-time favorite
I
cartoon.
remember
Thank
that.
you, Jackson, coming through in a pin.
Lame.
Welcome.
Whatever.
Beetlejuice.
G-Force Battle Planet's way before
Beetlejuice
Robotech
cartoon
Japanese
was-
anime.
It was
Dope.
cool.
I
Yes.
didn't know
I
Beetlejuice was
used to
a
watch
movie
G-Force.
until I
I
was
love
like,
G-Force.
Yeah.
All right,
a certain age. I thought
favorite
it was just
book,
cartoon.
Jackson.
A heart attack.
Women by Charles Bukowski.
Whoa.
Chase, favorite book.
Femininity by Susan Brown Miller. Just kidding. It by Stephen King.
It by Stephen King.
Ryan, favorite book.
God, don't you know
I know, but you have to
I
pick.
have like
just
a
pick one for this week.
library.
I know.
You gotta pick one.
Wind-Up-Bird Chronicles by Haruki Murakami.
Oh, good one.
Karen Russell.
No, one. We said one. You don't get to name all your
We're gonna
books.
name
Look at me,
all-
I'm Ryan. I read books.
Middlesex.
Love Middlesex.
One Chase. We get one.
Okay, well I'll say Middlesex then.
Good. Like, hit it.
Oh, you can't.
If I have to pick one right now, I'll go. Beach Music by Pat Conroy.
Oh, nice.
Let's see. Okay, favorite classic film, which is prior to the '60s. Jackson, go.
Prior to the 60s.
Vertigo.
Ooh,
I know.
Prior to the 60s.
with the phone case. Nice.
Yep.
Probably, I'm gonna say, I don't know, before the 60s? Fuck.
Dude, Sunset Boulevard.
No, that movie sucks.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna say The Maltese Falcon.
There you
Nice.
go.
Nice. Ryan.
I'm going to hit Hitchcock, too. I'm going to say Shadow of Doubt.
Nice.
Ooh, Shadow of a Doubt.
That's a good one.
I'll go super obvious and say I think my favorite might be Guys and Dolls and Casablanca.
Ooh.
I might go The Killing, Stanley Kubrick, too.
That's a good one.
All right, and your favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? Jackson.
Commando.
Eraser.
Ryan.
Favorite Schwarzenegger movie?
Yes.
Not even True Lies.
I mean, I want to say something
No.
like True Lies, which was...
Kindergarten Cop also.
Or
Junior.
Total Recall. But I think the thing I enjoyed him in the most was probably...
Maggie.
Let me think about it. I'm still
Get
thinking.
one. I can edit
Only
this shit
get
too.
one.
We can edit
Here
this.
we go.
And
My answer is Twins.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I'll round it out with Predator.
Oh, nice.
All right. Well,
Trying to get apart. Anyway,
More. I like
Oh no! It's not. It's not. It's not. I think that is my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Let's wrap
Because
this up.
Jackson picked Commando.
Let's
wrap this up. Everybody go see Beyond the Gates.
See Beyond the
Please
Gates.
get a
Where
chance.
can we see? When are we going?
Yes.
When are people? Who is the people? When are we going to? How can we tell people to see?
IFC is going to be putting it out at the end of the year on VOD and theatrical in 5 cities. It'll be out on December 9th.
Ooh.
Nice.
So pretty soon. And then I think we're doing a DVD and Blu-ray with a bunch of extra features that should come out about 3 or 4 months after that through Scream Factory. I don't know if I'm supposed to say any of that, but
Including this podcast, since we talked about
dude, if we can use it, I'll absolutely.
Are you just trying to crap this one out, or are you working on something else?
As far as movies go?
Yeah.
I'm working on another one. I have
Do you want to reveal some
yes.
insight?
I'm developing something with Channing Tatum's company that I shouldn't talk about, but it's
I
like
thought that was a joke for a second.
no, it's totally. I actually was like on the Sony
Magic Mike
Splash.
Magic Mike /
Magic
Star
Mike
Wars.
Live. No,
Magic-
I can't talk about it.
Magic
And
Splash.
Magic Mike in
It's gonna be
space.
huge.
Magic Mike, I would love to write that
Oh my god,
movie.
Magic Mike
I'm
in
putting it on the
space!
record. I want to write
there's no
Magic Mike
gravity.
in space.
I'm doing the helicopter and I'm not even trying.
Please let me write Magic Mike in space.
I was trying to do the helicopter.
But it's just doing it on its own.
And then I have another one called The Day After Halloween, which Chase would be in.
Ooh, I like Day
And-
After Halloween. I love that. What is that about?
About
It's
Thanksgiving.
You're all
Yeah.
sick. It's when you're all sick on candy.
Prepping for Thanksgiving.
no, it's basically about what happens to the final girl after the end of a slasher movie.
Oh,
Yes, you told me.
that's
I love that. I
good.
love that idea. I
Jace?
love that idea.
What's up?
I have another movie coming out the week before
Siren.
Beyond the Gates called Siren, which is a spin-off of the
When you
VHS
say
show.
out,
Huh.
you mean
It's going to be in theaters and on demand a week after that. It's December 2nd it'll be in theaters.
December
I don't
2nd?
know which
Nice.
theaters.
It's gonna be a big month
How
for
many?
Chase.
It is a big month for Chase. That's
yeah, it's been a
awesome.
really good year. You know, I've got to work on a lot of cool stuff. I did a movie with my buddy David Churchirillo, who's one of the co-writers of Cheap Thrills, which
Yeah.
is like one of my favorite movies. and he wrote a bomb script and just directed it, and I'm really excited about it.
Rad.
I'm working a lot with Jillian Horvat, who's a South by Southwest award-winning filmmaker. We just did a short together, and we're writing something together right now. And I have a movie that just came out on demand called Lace Crater, which is produced by Joe Swanberg. And,
Where can we find that?
That movie's dope.
it's on Amazon.
I love that.
Say
movie.
that.
Say it again?
Say it all again so people can see it.
I have a movie called Lace Crater. It's on Amazon Instant, a bunch of other on-demand services, but Joe Swanberg produced it. It's actually my dear friend from high school and growing up's first feature that he directed. And he worked with Joe. He went to Northwestern. Joe lives in Chicago. He got hooked up with Joe and ended up doing like DIT on Drinking Buddies. And then Joe just like loved him and his friend Daniel. And so Joe got behind his first feature. It ended up being dope. We premiered at TIFF. Lindsay Burge is the lead in it, who's just like...
It also has one of the best like premises I've heard for a movie where a girl has sex with a ghost and gets an STD from it. It's fucking hilarious.
And it's a play. It's a play on mumblecore, and then it sort of turns that on its head and becomes this sort of like social drama about like having terrible friends and becoming like a pariah. It's sort of a Scarlet Letter play on like
It's super funny though too.
Yeah, it's this
Nice.
kid. This kid Harrison is just such an incredible, talented filmmaker, and I've known that since I met him when he was like 12. So it's like super interesting to have our worlds collide. And that
I was about to say that's a neat evolution that you've started out and then come back and you're with each other again.
It's super
So
nuts.
But I think that's
I started
that's what's going on.
Started working with Adam Wingard, who's really good friends with Joe, and so we both like have that connection. So we were both sort of in the world, but through our own ends, and then it just like ended up colliding.
Well, that's all energy and gravity. That's some cool shit. Well, Jack Stewart, thank you for coming. Chase Williamson, awesome. Go see Beyond the Gates, coming out here very shortly.
December 9th.
December 9th. And Chase, thank you for hanging out with us as well.
Oh, you know what? It was a pleasure.
We have to do it. We have to do it again because you guys will be doing a ton of shit. So at least we'll have some episodes on this thing.
Anytime,
dude. I was totally thrilled to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing. Well, let's wrap that up. Thank you, Jackson. Thank you, Chase. I'm Andre Gower.
Thank you guys, big fan.
I'm Ryan Lambert, I think.
What?
And no, you still are Ryan Lambert.
Ooh.
You still are. It's good. And this was a Squadcast, and we'll see you later.
Squad.
Cast.
This my squad.